Okay, so I actually wanted to start us off by talking about today's topic is about entrepreneurship, just being entrepreneurs in general. This shit started back when I was in primary school. Apparently, when you're a school prefect, you get gaslit into going to another school to take part in some of their entrepreneurial bullshit.
The what?
Which is I clearly didn't pay attention. But,
is that a thing?
Well, at least for me, I did end up going to, I think, Coral Sec to do it. So,
Like what kind of entrepreneurial? Like starting a freaking lemonade stand or something?
you could say the spirit of it more than anything else, kind of portfolio boosting bullshit. But I have an interesting product of Korean entrepreneurism over here. So as you can see, I've kindly prepped us some ice water, ice more than water at least. Fundamentally, because this over here is a Korean effervescence tablet for tonic water. It's the original flavor. It's not exactly released to the Singaporean market yet, but I did get a good amount of it because I had a conversation with the CEO of the company itself, and
So
apparently,
this is like a sampler.
yeah, no, this is actually the full product.
Oh,
But I got a good amount of it as samples, and it's supposed to go very well into cold water. So I'm just going to.
Okay,
Yeah.
you say effervescent tablet, like we know what it is. Can you like explain what it means?
For those of you who did not take part in secondary school, which is not a slight, but Singapore's education system is compulsory only up to the end of primary school.
Yes.
Effervescence basically means fizzy bubbly. It produces gas in reaction to exposure to something, usually water in our modern context. So most of these effervescence tablets, you take it, you drop it into water, and then it fizzes, releases gas, and puts out whatever the internal components are.
Okay.
The fun thing about it is, as you know, if you understand or memorize your chemistry well, the colder things are, the slower your rate of reactions, especially with effervescence tablets. Ironically, this tablet requires it to be cold as.
Oh. Wow.
Apparently, the chill is a required factor in making it delicious, also to say.
Delicious is one thing, but doesn't it slow down the rate of effervescing?
Yeah, basically.
All right. Let's see how it works.
So this is how it looks like. Very average effervescence tablet.
I am tempted to just pop it in my mouth.
You wanna?
Will it hurt? I mean,
Better than grounding up and trying to snort it, right?
I am down like that. Let's
3,
go.
2, 1, cheers, bro.
Cheers. Woo! Ooh, this is addictive.
Oh, fizzy bubbly.
Yeah, boy.
Let's tell you what, this is done by professionals. We're not doing this at home, especially when you're vitamin C tablet.
You're professional. You're a professional idiot. Oh my god, my god, what the fuck? You remember like in the past we had the sparkling like candy, the popping candy.
Yeah.
And then you just throw a whole bunch in your mouth and
Basically, it tastes like tonic water, right? It tastes like fever tree.
well, it tastes more like a vitamin C tablet than anything.
Really? Alright, pass the water. Let's fill us up, bro.
I mean, it's like very salty-ish, sour.
Well, fundamentally, there's a good amount of extra ingredients. Apparently, my phone is right there, so I can't actually use Google Lens to go through the Korean ingredients, but I think they mentioned that there's some vitamin C as well as taurine added to this to make it a bit more therapeutic hangover relief.
So effectively, it is a vitamin C tablet.
Yeah. Hey, basket, as you can see, yours is at the bottom, mine's at the top, so I think you kind of finger it down.
Oh my
Again,
god,
this
it's still
is
fizzing.
you need food hygiene. Please do not take your finger and stick it into your water like that.
You can do it to your own water, don't do it to someone else's.
Exactly.
You know, if you get food poisoning because of yourself, it's not.
It's not a crime.
Yeah, it's not a crime. Good for you.
Not finable. You're fining yourself by paying.
Have fun in the
for-
hospital.
Yeah, basically, you're fining yourself by paying food poisoning. But as you can see, it takes a while for it, but it will pretty much dissolve completely.
I mean, it fizzles in my mouth quite fast, so
Yeah. But I've been told that the color is a bit off-putting. You know, it kind of looks like you're drinking lime water.
lemonade, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Compared to your regular tonic, which is clear, right? So, with that said, I think yours needs a bit of fingering as well.
so
But
like, wee, wee, wee.
But
okay.
we are ready to pretty much drink this. So this is Pocket Tonic. Cheers.
Wait, is that how they pronounce it?
Pocket Tonic.
I
Pocket
see.
Tonic.
The Korean name.
The product is called Pocket Tonic, but I think we added a bit too much water, so we might as well just throw one more inside.
It's still fizzling in my mouth. Ah!
True, but I think we
It's like stuck on the top of stuck on the roof of my mouth like a freaking like peanut butter.
yeah. I think we kind of need to.
Mix, slow mix.
You ever watch Baki? You know, during the raita, after Baki gets cured, Retsu just brings him like 10 liters of water, pour in 4 liters of sugar, then just. Baki's exact comment is that's unhygienic. Alright, but it is supposed to go with about 120 to 200 ml of water. So the more concentrated you want it, the more you want to depress the amount of water. It's like
It should be around half the glass of water.
practically speaking, yeah. Don't forget that the ice also constitutes a certain volume of water, so we do need to factor that in. So a shot glass or something like there's a smaller version of this glass. Yeah, we could have used that, but
Hey, hindsight 2020.
hindsight 2020. Oh, okay, good. Let's get into our episode proper, man. So today's topic is entrepreneurism, and I kind of want to start off by saying that Ben, you've been working in the public sector for practically the whole life after you graduated, while I've been working in the private sector the entire duration after I graduated.
You say whole life like it's been a long time. It's only been a year and like about 2 years.
That's your entire work life, bro.
Yeah.
Playing same as mine. Like I started working for private fitness academy, one that does courses under SkillsFuture or privately. Then I started working for a bar. Then I started working for a small digital marketing firm. Then I started working for the gym pod. Then I started working with 24/7 Fitness. Everything has been technically SME, the biggest one ever being probably 24/7.
Yeah, you've been around the place.
You could say I've been around like many facets of the fitness industry. And then like working with the Swan has technically been the most that I've been working in liquor. I have like taken a few roadshow sales jobs before, but that's about it for liquor. So being able to actually describe your drink is very useful, aside from just saying smooth.
Yes. I mean, if you're disputing Johnny Walker Blue, I think the only word in your vocabulary is smooth, but that's besides the point.
I mean, admittedly, that has been like what I've heard most of the time, lah. So, given this perspective, right, as you also know, I did found back after I left my first job, I did find my own company, at least on paper, which is Nakama Spirits, and then I do have a second one upcoming, and that's called Transcendent Fitness Singapore Private Limited. So I do have my hands in both of these industries now, as far as having a registered business goes. But the topic is more entrepreneurship. So what are your thoughts on the concept? I'd like to know your thoughts beyond like my primary school understanding of it. I'm just kidding.
Like what do you mean concepts?
What does it mean to be an entrepreneur?
Raking in big money, starting off with like indie and whatnot.
So it's
finding a niche and then
only
exploiting the
fans
niche.
being entrepreneurial.
Technically, if you are your own boss, like,
Exactly right. So the line blurs, and I believe that being an entrepreneur has more to do with, first of all, spirit, second of all, mindset, third of all, processes. Right. So
fourth of all, the definitions given to you by the big platforms.
Correct. So at least as we go it, I believe the spirit of entrepreneurism is to be enterprising. So to essentially find something and start a business, right? So that is more so much the spirit of it. Then of course it's the mindset, right? What does it mean to be an entrepreneur in terms of your mindset? You don't exactly want it to be confined to strict definitions, but I think it has more to do with the idea of growth and scale. You want to be in a position where you make something of your own and you grow and scale it. Then of course, to be entrepreneurial, you actually need processes in the sense that you want to make something. How does it make you money?
Come to bring me my money.
That's the end goal, right? I mean, it is the end goal. It's not just the end goal. I believe it's just the key process, right? Like if your goal is to be a non-profit company that serves the benefit of the population, you need to make money, but it's not the be all end all, because the goal is to use the money on something else. Is that the expense is the goal, not so much the process of making money, the revenue.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, to the end, you do want to build processes, systems, and to make things happen. That's what it means to be an entrepreneur who runs a business. So then, it's like let me actually pick your brain a little. Let's say if right now you had $0 in your pocket, you have no connections whatsoever. You start from bare zero. This is the shit that Alex Hormozy always talks about. How would you go and make money? You cannot say you will rob someone on the street. Any illegal means is ruled out.
Let's try to sell them Bitcoin.
Why you have no Bitcoin?
Try to sell them a scam coin or something.
Ah, that's
I mean,
you're really towing some fine lines here, buddy.
But probably find some niche that you could provide value in, sweep the floor or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I do remember back when I went for reservist in April this year. I heard that one of my or the guys in my battalion actually started his own home cleaning business, which is something that you can do without actually any kind of mainstream capital. Of course, having capital helps in the sense of like you can always pre-purchase a very specific set of items and then sell a package. But if let's say you are like a bespoke service, $100 an hour, assuming you provide all the items, I'll clean your home for like X number of hours, and then this is like based on very specific layouts of the house. Like let's say 1 hour price for getting things done in a 5-room flat versus 4-room flat, 150 versus 100, cause the space is much lesser. I mean, that's something that you could do. Then you go in, use their resources, and just do the work, right? Whereas if let's say you curate like, you have $500 capital, you buy all your cleaning equipment, you prepare your transportation, boom, you charge even higher, $250 now. So that is an example of creating something, providing value, and building your systems.
Or you could just sell a meme coin.
You really want the fate of what happened in Squid Game 3's like that guy.
I have no idea what happened after Squid Game 1. I
Well,
didn't realize there was a sequel.
Spoiler alert.
It's fine then.
MG coin. So that's how you end up in big debts, you know? But yeah. So with that said, on to more about entrepreneurial stuff, right? I'm sure everyone knows about Ren, which is why this article is kind of there in the first place.
Yeah.
It has always been the primary thing that has been driving business in Singapore, having an actual location.
Yeah.
Right?
For
Of
the
course.
most part.
No, it's kind of like
As in, before everything went online is like a prerequisite, I guess.
yeah. But think of it this way. The idea is that in Singapore, by definition, right, when you make your own company, before incorporators or registered business addresses, or at least shared spaces exist, or a shared office exists, you would need a physical location to essentially start a business, because you register your address where all the letters that are sent by the government, they go to there. But now the incorporators like Ozone, which is where I first started Nakama Spirits, right? I first incorporated through them. Now that incorporators like them exist, they usually have an office, and they allow people to use that as the office to register their new business at. So you could set up a new business, I could set a new business, you could set up a new business, you could set a new business.
Very entrepreneurial of them.
Yeah, literally, as long as you have the money to pay for it, you can get an address. And then you will get your formal documents sent to you, like for example your estimate of chargeable income, or your IRAS related documents, etc. will be sent there. So
the core idea behind business was based around location, which is why like having an office or having a store is so important. And of course, it's not like all businesses are, they are online, right? They're digital. Of course, there's a digital segment, but a lot of businesses are brick and mortar. For example, a gym, a bar, restaurants, all these places, they fundamentally operate based on space. Otherwise, you just have central kitchens, you would just be selling equipment, running coaching service like I am, and you could operate remotely from there. Yeah. And with rents, this article was shared in one of the Singaporean whiskey groups actually. The title of it is a commentary article, which is that could you like bump it up a bit?
Yep.
The tussle over retail rents in Singapore cannot go on like this.
TLDR, the rent is too damn high.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Small businesses, shutter citing, rising rental costs. There is room for intervention without distorting the market, says NUS Business School's Lee Kwan Ok. So the article basically covers what happens as a product of your rent increases. But I think the first thing that people actually need to know is how did we actually get to this stage here today?
Yes, of course. How did we get here, right?
Okay, so fundamentally, it's not too much within the article, but this is more actual learned business knowledge from talking and networking with people, especially property agents. The fundamental idea here is Singapore and people within Singapore have always perpetuated the idea of property as an investment. Your home, as you get, let's say you get a HDB, appreciates in value depending on its location, and the idea is that after you have gotten your property, you can sell it off and upgrade to a new property and perpetuate this cycle, and someone else will always get a resale, etc. And the idea is to take the capital gains that you make from the appreciating value of your property, take it, reinvest it until you have reached a point whereby you have benefited sufficiently from it. So let's say you go from 3, 4, 5 room flat, then maybe you get a condominium, etc. And maybe every single time you make extra 100 grand in value. Yes. Right? So the final quanta that you make from the sale of the last house that you get, and if let's say you get a new property maybe in Singapore, is going to be your net profit. Right?
Property as an asset.
It is an asset. The question has always been like, what is the kind of due or what is the property status? So is it like a freehold property or is it a leasehold? Right? So ideally you get a freehold, but not everything in Singapore works the way you want it. So people have more money than you, so there'll always be someone richer, unless you're the richest man in the world. So then, what happens is that I'm not sure if people here know about the categorizations of Singaporean property. Do you actually?
I assume that there are only two: the freehold and the 99-year lease, if I remember.
No. So we're talking about residential property, commercial property.
Zoning, you mean?
Not just zoning per se, it's more like land use. Yeah. So there's a commercial, which usually is categorized into places like your shop houses, your shopping malls, etc. Then you have your residential, which refers to anything housing related, so people are meant to stay there. And then you have your industrial. Industrial is a bit more funky because there are different types of industrial units. Industrial B1, which is a light industrial unit, you typically can use it as an office and storage space. Industrial B2, which is a warehouse. So these are big properties. And then lastly, you have your dorms, which are for, usually you set them up for foreign workers. But if let's say you want to turn it into like a student hostel, you can do that. Alright, so with that said, before we actually get deeper into this, why don't we get ourselves off a string?
Sure.
So today's by right, the star of the show today is actually this Islay whiskey rare find by our friend Chris at Three Musketeers. It is Islay, so I kind of want to leave it to the end. But I'd like to celebrate our revival of this podcast by hopefully killing or not killing off this bottle.
What was that?
This bottle is a representation of friendships and good business deals.
Wow.
It's a Japanese whiskey, a very special bottle, a Year of the Dragon bottling by the distillery called Nagahama.
Year of the Dragon, wait.
Does this not look like a dragon?
Was this?
This was at my pop-up bar, Baonastram. I don't even know what you're counting, bro.
Oh, that was. I can't remember when the Year of the Dragon was. Is it this year?
No.
Yeah.
This, I believe that this year is the year of the
22 would be Tiger, Rabbit.
1998 was our birth year, so we
Yes.
plus 12. That would be 2010, 22, Tiger.
So this year is the Rabbit. Food. So next year is the Dragon.
Oh, so if 22 is Tiger,
Uh-huh. Oh
Then-
wait, 22 is Tiger.
then 23 is Rabbit, right?
23 is Rabbit. So it's last year.
24 is Dragon.
Yes.
I knew it. Yeah, and this year is Snake.
Yep.
I remember because at Whiskey Journey, Nagahama was releasing their brand new Year of the Snake clay bottle. Not as special as this. This I think friend Steve procured it from Japan, but they also had leftover Dragon ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, so let me tell you a bit of a funny encounter. So after Whiskey Journey, right, as you know, I was already like getting into the final proceedings of setting up Baon Last Ram, and Whiskey Journey is like at the tail end of like November. So I was always like stuck manning the old bar, and then this year at the new bar, apparently someone brought the Nagahama distillery like representative over here.
Ooh.
I didn't know. So I came in and then I was talking to Aruna, and then there were these fellas sitting here that was like so I was talking, then Aruna was like, it was a house whiskey journey, everything. Then I was like, yeah, it's good. Nagahama had a really cool Year of the Snake bottle. Then the guy beside me, wow, bro, his face immediately changed, bro. Smiles. Then the guy was like, hey, yeah, this guy is from Nagahama Spirits. I was like, oh, nice to meet you. Yeah.
What coincidence.
Exactly, man. So this one here is a special cask. I'm not sure if I've let you try this before.
No, you haven't.
Oh, good.
Today's the first day.
So let's pour ourselves some, man.
It's a very unique bottle indeed.
It's very hard to pour off, man. Yeah, so I think there was about 400 ml when I got the bottle myself. So try to guess what the cask is. It's extremely interesting.
You get to nose it first?
Of course. So as you know, as is typical Whiskeys and Weebs fashion, we always go through the nose, then we will have a nice cheers and have the palate together. First time I tried it is very metallic grapiness. It's a very like thin layer. Yeah. Actually, I feel like it's gotten a very strong varnish note now compared to when I first tried it. Very fumy.
Yeah, I don't know it. Oh, bourbon? It smells like a bourbon cask.
Really? Oh, it's
To
not,
me-
man. Far, far away.
It's
Do we
maybe
need-
more towards like, I mean, it had. At the start it was a bit more honey. Now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, honey, grainy. Now. I don't know,
It's
the more I
malt,
smell,
so
yeah. The
it's
more
not
I,
grainy.
the more I'm whiffing, the more it smells like what was it? The Kavalan.
The Axe bourbon?
No. The
No way is the Vino, right?
slightly there, but not as grapey, not as fruity. I don't know.
Interesting.
My vocab isn't the best, so
It's okay. Cheers.
cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, lychee is back. There we go.
lychee.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yes.
very fake lychee, like very plasticky.
I feel like it's been sitting in the barrel for a bit too long.
No, it's quite young actually. 55%. I think this is no more than 5 or 6 years old. 57%.
I think Tonic.
Tonic, right? Really?
Not dry, but a bit more towards like the bitter, dry bitter.
Dry bitter.
Yeah, like biting on a wooden spoon kind of.
Oh, there's the green apples.
Wow.
There we go.
Ish. Interesting.
It's an IPA cask.
Huh. Wait, IPAs have cask.
Dark IPA cask. It's more so that usually these are very seasoned barrels, so they pour like the product inside, swirl it around, let it stick around, and then they finish off whatever you want inside it. From my recent attendance at the Kagoshima shochu masterclass, apparently they like to do these. They like to do this in the Japanese market, so they like to do a lot of seasoning. Because it is like a pretty new thing. I think 2008 was the renaissance of Japanese distilleries because of Chichibu, mostly through the introduction of Ichiro's malt and grain. But then everyone started pivoting, and this is where your growth in popularity of alternative casks, as well as the Mizunara cask came into the picture.
Interesting. I mean, alternative is definitely a word. It is it is funky. It is, yeah, it's funky.
Oh yeah, no, orange peel, tangerine peels, man.
Huh.
Love it, bro.
Interesting.
Great stuff. Alright, we'll take a commercial break and then we're going to get back to our entrepreneurship topic.
Have a drink, relax, play some chess. You're always welcome to do so, here at the Emerald Room.
So, back to the topic on rents. Previously I was talking about how property is used, and thank you. And the main thing here is not just your residential property, but your commercial properties are also being treated the same way as far as their capital appreciation gains go. That means that previously, if you live in Singapore and you flipped your house, you have made some good amount of money, then you could choose to go into the same kind of household or just reinvest everything in getting a better house in the hopes to flip it in the future. However, if you're a businessman now, or you have more money than most people, you're able to pay ABSD and all the other taxes, you could buy a commercial property and use it as an investment vehicle. Essentially, you pay your stamp duty as well as your down payment, and then you mortgage the rest, and then you clear it off over like a 20-30 year period, same as your house. However, the difference here is that with a commercial property, you can't usually stay in it. So that means that this has to be leased out to someone to utilize.
Yep.
So if let's say you lease like a big warehouse via commercial guru, or let's say you lease a small office via commercial group, something that is about 600 square feet, and now you mortgage paid maybe about 1.6 million for it. You do have, and then you amortize it over about 30 years. Chances are you're paying maybe a good comfortable 5k plus in rent, and so you lease it out to someone, and then now you ask like maybe 6k. You cover your mortgage as well as you make some extra cash. Usually a reasonable amount because you need to maintain the facility, right?
Yep.
Let's say the person cocks up, or you install like a aircon inside and then it cocks up. Yeah. So you do
You're
need to
responsible for all the utilities and
correct. So
the
you
infrastructure.
need to make sure that the building is still okay lah.
yeah, you gotta make sure the renter wants to rent the place.
Correct. So the problem is what happens when small businesses and big businesses get involved in this. So let's say small business, like a bar. A bar is a good example. Bar is a small business. Usually they get spaces anywhere from like you can have an actual hole in the wall, like Hamilton Lock in Japan. That shit is probably no more than 200 square feet. And by 200 square feet, that means that you chop this place in half, right? That's the amount of space the bar equates to.
Yeah, sounds about
One bar, 9 people squeezed cheek to cheek. Bar table, space for the owner walk inside and prep stuff, and then rack. That's it. And then maybe another space outside for storage or other things, kitchen. Right?
So you can also have really big spaces. For example, if you have ever been to Jig and Pony, space is huge, man. It's within the Amara Hotel. I would say comfortably 2,000 or so square feet, maybe a bit more. Otherwise, those other hotel bars, those tend to be quite big. Right? Then you have lounges. For example, I think Quick Bar Wanderlust is a good example. Space is huge. I think Quick Bar Wanderlust also at least 2,000 square feet. But I digress a bit. Small businesses oftentimes have not the same amount of capital to begin with as compared to an MNC. Now, if you spend a lot of time on Reddit, especially on Singapore FI, financial independence, you will always get or Ask Singapore, for example, you get a lot of people saying, never work for an SME. As egregious and impractical of that statement is, because there are only so many jobs that you get for MNCs who have to invest money to setting up an office in Singapore, and only so many public sector jobs, so ministries, etc. And this is even discounting the fact that not every job scope is as enjoyable for everyone, and everyone has different skill sets, education, etc. Fundamentally, small businesses make up the bulk of businesses and transactions in Singapore, right? Most commercial usage. For example, your 500 to 2,000 square feet like locations oftentimes are used by small businesses. Now, when you have small businesses trying to lease a physical location, especially if they are brick and mortar, chances are they don't exactly drive massive revenue. I believe that for SME classification, you make sub 10 million a year, but it really depends on the kind of business. For example, if you're an aesthetic clinic or you trade B2B for the most part, chances are you're racking big bucks if you get good deals, right? Or you're first mover advantage. Now, when it comes to when it comes to say a bookstore, a bar, or places that don't exactly have massive turnover, you think about all the operating expenses. Rent is a massive chunk, right? Because you need to pay for rent, then you need to pay yourself as a business owner, especially if you play a very big part in ops. For example, owner-operator concept, boss here is in the bar doing the work, networking, talking, serving, producing.
He has to pay himself.
Correct. It's fair, because otherwise, if let's say he just pays me, then he could still pay himself, but he wouldn't need to work. Someone else would tend to work for him. But that is kind of why you delegate.
Still funky.
Oh, pineapples are here now. Damn.
It's very funky. Yes.
So with rents increasing as a byproduct of a desire for capital appreciation, you essentially price out a lot of small businesses who do not have the amount of capital required to operate a business for long term or to start it off from actually existing. And so you have places like patisseries closing down, because think about it, what you used to sell for $1 per piece now ends up being $1.50, $2, and eventually $5. Just make enough margins to pay yourself against inflation, pay off your mortgage, your rent, which is driven by the mortgage, and people who trade higher and higher. Now, one thing that I've come to realize is that this desire for landlords and property agents to make more money via capital gains and commissions is slowly killing off entrepreneurship in Singapore, as there's, like it or not, a fuck ton of businesses that still operate via brick and mortar terms.
You're not surprising you can't exactly start a restaurant like online.
Right.
I mean, you can deliver food, but it's the experience of a brick and mortar.
Yeah, but you see a lot more home restaurants showing up nowadays, or home-based food businesses that don't exactly have the same kind of regulations, and as a result, people are annoyed. However, I think it's justified on one end and not justified on many other big ends. It's justified on one end because yes, SFA can't regulate people's homes, which is of course going to result in very variable standards.
Yeah, great.
But at the same time, this is a reflection of what's happening now, the
Yep.
actual market, which is small businesses are getting priced out. You want to continue, you start home-based business as a way to save on costs because you are already paying for your own mortgage at home.
Yep.
Then the nature of this is that how then are we going to keep entrepreneurship going in Singapore with wages not keeping pace with inflation and the standards of today, increasing foreign talent being brought into the country as cheap labor, and your landlords as well as your property agents driving up the prices for the sake of capital gains. So the rich just get richer and the poor can't get even start things.
Is this where I think it's going?
I don't know. You say your piece, man.
I mean, clearly what we need here is some heavy-handed government intervention.
I do believe there was a Rent Control Act that was torn down somewhere in the 80s or the 90s. But, or maybe even the early 2000s. I'm not remembering properly. But the idea here is that there has to be some way that someone intervenes into this.
Yeah, the market
And I expect
needs to be intervened into.
Correct.
I'm not sure if because it sounds pretty similar to something that's going on in like major cities around the world, particularly in the US, because I think I generally read the news about that area more than others, but things like cartels, like pricing the market so that, well, I think it's more anti-compete stuff lah, so anti-competition stuff, so they place like price floors for rentals, maybe for both like commercial and what's the other one, residential stuff. So in the US apparently there's like sites like Zillow, if I'm not wrong, that they say they don't intervene in the pricing, but they have algorithms that like pretty much price floor the market. So yeah, kind of sussy stuff. I'm not sure if that is happening in Singapore, but I mean, you could see
I
this in
don't think
incentives
it's happening
there.
in Singapore because at the end of the day, landlords and agents decide the pricing that they list.
Yes, but it's like saying that the big businesses can decide on the price. Like they will compete on the pricing. You know, if you have a big platform that's already managing all the pricing, they could very easily just institute like anti-competition shit. Yeah.
I mean, my experience with attempting to lease a space is closer to is like websites allow you to contact the agent who's responsible for the place, and businesses will then have to be assessed for their suitability for the location. The landlord's attitude towards them, so whether they boy song or not lah. You know, if they come, good. If they're compatible and they like it, okay lah, better lah. Let's say I want to do liquor, landlord likes liquor, is associated with a few liquor businesses, more than happy welcome you in.
Fair enough.
Or let's say you do alcohol, but then it's owned by a Muslim landlord. Let's just say that I don't think that you're going anywhere lah. Right?
Yeah.
And then they will choose between the businesses and they'll actually get them to bid above. Right? So it's not even just on the first come first serve basis. Imagine I first come first serve, but I bid the lowest bid, the asking price. But then someone comes in later and says that, hey, I'm willing to do 200 more per month. Then the landlord will easily say, hey,
clearly
I pay
lah.
Yeah lah.
I mean, if you're a landlord, you're clearly gonna go for the bid that gives you the better price. Yeah, as long as you believe that they're scrupulous people, but that's
Yes, because at the end of the day, I remember when I went for some of my first few like site viewings, and I looked. First thing I went to the office. First of all, my agent did not come on that day, and I was bloody pissed off.
Yeah.
And I also tripped, fell, and sprained my ankle while crossing the road.
That's not on the agent though.
That's not
That's
the
on
agent.
you.
It's not the agent, but it certainly helped with adding to how pissed I was. But then I saw on the notice that the business that was operating in that space had defaulted on about 22,000 rent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So the entity essentially
Just upped and fucked off and disappeared.
Yeah. So the landlord is actually going to have to cover like the mortgage in the periods of time where they are not getting paid rent from the person who's leasing a place.
Fair enough.
So if it's not like you just kiao car and you sit back once you have gotten a place. You need to have enough money to actually like pay off your mortgage in case the person fucks off.
At the end of the day, it's still a risk that the owner of the property is still taking.
Correct. The person is paying the mortgage is taking lah. But back to the point, right? How are we going to keep entrepreneurship going in Singapore is a big problem going to the future, right? Especially if let's say we pull the race card and we say that yes, as a true homegrown Singaporean individual, right? Your parents came to Singapore, but you were born here and then now you serve national service, everything, yada yada, the whole education here. Yeah. Now, I mean, you and I are prototypical examples of this, you know? Average Chinese male individuals born, did entire education in Singapore, did national service, did university in Singapore, and are working in the Singaporean workforce. Now, assuming that the government going forward implements some measures, right? There's only two ways that I see this going. You first control rent, which makes it more feasible for people to scrape up money and start a business with a physical location. Otherwise, everyone will just be doing no cost or no capital businesses like myself, you know.
Yep. But that would fuck over the property owners, which I mean, I'm not against screwing over rent seekers, but not exactly a feasible thing in the near future.
I don't think you screw them over as much as you think they will, but it will be for those who made very poor mortgage decisions as a result of bidding. Because if let's say now you cannot rent above a certain amount, right? Let's say no more than 20% of the amount that you have, that your mortgage per month is amortized to. You can't exactly you still get people who bid on the unit lah. But the question is, who is going to take it? Are you going to get a nice insert country with a couple of stars inside and a red colour flag, business coming into Singapore and then like leasing the place, you know, as you would see in many locations, for example Holland Village nowadays, after F&B died, it is resurrected and completely replaced, or Orchard or other places, other Holland areas? Or will you be seeing actual Singaporean like entrepreneurs going on now? Or will you just see more landlords acquiring places?
Tough to say, man. But any form of rent control would probably be the baseline to bring in new businesses.
Yeah lah. I mean, then the other choice, right, is
to throw money at the problem.
Sorry?
To throw money at the problem?
Correct, exactly. Government subsidizes entrepreneurship. Everyone writes a proposal for their business, submits it to the government, and it gets endorsed.
Which I'm pretty sure was the way that they did it in COVID periods or whatnot.
Really?
I'm not sure, but there was a very big push for subsidized, or not really subsidized. The government was essentially throwing money at SMEs.
No, they weren't throwing money at SMEs. If I'm not wrong, a few banks were doing zero interest loans.
Ah, okay. Ooh.
So a few business owners I know have actually taken up high 6 to 7 figure loans simply because zero interest.
It's fixed all the way.
As long as you have the revenue history and you have the cash flow history, by all means, bro, I would say this is 100% worth it.
Yeah,
take your time.
100%, man.
Because
I'm pretty sure that the government was throwing money at businesses. That's why you got a lot of the lock stores opening recently.
Yeah lah, but
just random.
At the end of the day, is this a sustainable strategy? Is one thing to also consider.
Yeah. You are just diluting the amount of money in the system. That's inflationary in nature. So
yes,
problem just gets worse.
So at the end of the day, as I don't even need to say as a business owner, but as a conscientious individual, is entrepreneurship going to live or die in Singapore is very much within the hands of powers that be and actual stakeholders that we've mentioned, people who actually own the properties, right? And most importantly, agents.
right? Because you can't keep transacting upwards, taking your money, but then you screw over the rest of the country. Because I believe this is a byproduct of people recognizing that this is a viable money-making strategy, pivoting everything towards that. Now, as a result of it, small businesses are getting screwed over, of which the businesses may not be essential. But you must understand that to start a business does not necessarily take an individual who is purely profit-seeking, right? Many people start a business because of personalized dream, desire to help others, or for just a desire for more public good, right? Because what they are doing is not necessarily harmful, right? It's like, okay, bubble tea can arguably be said to be a very harmful industry, right? Because all you're doing is you're selling a sugared beverage.
Yep.
Alright, so those that sell the non-sugary ones can be said to be doing more public good in the sense, while still making money. But what about services like gyms? Gyms are ultimately money making, but the intention behind gyms has always been very clear. You benefit public health or you benefit athletic pursuits. Right?
I'm definitely getting the green apple.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The funkiness, right?
Yeah.
Yes, within it the weird fruitiness that's caused by the distiller and the cask. Yeah.
But I think the main issue I foresee is as long as property or like actually any property being a asset class, as long as it remains as an asset class, the issue will never be solved. Because for one, if you keep it as an asset class, what you would want from an asset would be to beat inflation.
Correct.
And secondly, if the industry for that asset class is big, which property I would say is pretty big,
Oversaturated, what's new?
then you would have a lot of different actors inside, like taking cuts. So your owners will want a cut, right? So every time you sell a property, you want to see a small increase. Your agents will want to see a cut as well. Banks will want to see a cut on their interest. So adding all this up is way above interest rates. So at the end of the day, it's like, as long as it remains an asset class, we will never have any rent stabilization. So I'm not advocating for it, but government may want to become the one involved in managing the properties, like freaking government-owned properties. I don't know.
Government's the biggest landlord.
It is.
I think we all know this.
Yes, but HDB is still relatively
Yeah.
well priced.
Yes. Or at least the grants make it to be.
Yeah.
But since we're on the topic of rent, let's talk about something that's a bit more closer to the title of this show itself.
Sure.
Let's talk about the Weebs part, because today is actually day 2 of the AFA Creator Superfest.
Yep. And we're not there.
We're not there.
Because why? Nah. Ain't got time for that. Not these days.
Well,
These days.
let's just say that I've been busy as well.
Yeah.
Opening up, dude, this is the 7th day in the week of the bar.
Dude, this is the first day of the week that I haven't had to wake up at 6 a.m.
Oh man, we're close there.
Yeah man, wow, I've been waking up so early this week. Either for morning PTs or something else. Okay, but back
to the point.
to the point. I like to think that people who go and attend as exhibitors, boothers, a good example of our modern day entrepreneurism, but in a very specific microcosm, which is the Weeb industry, right? Because it's actually quite heartening to see, ever since the first AFA back in 2008, we now have so many events like the Hanami Market, the Dojima, EOI, all these anime events, or at least tangentially Japanese centric events, showing up, celebrating Weeb culture, popping up in Singapore, almost to the point where we have at least once a month. Right? I mean, I'm not sure what I would say about like fashion shows and the like, or Caustica and things like that. Caustica being the Aerofest one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think that this is a promising kind of way of looking at entrepreneurship in Singapore. Like,
I
okay,
guess you can put it that way.
okay, for example, do you think artists are important?
Of course, yes. How
We
would
won't
I?
get anime in games, right?
Yeah, how do I get my 101 Steam game that I'm probably not gonna be able to play at any time?
Baji! Right?
Yeah.
But then, to a lot of people, they may not see this.
How so? What do you mean they won't be able to see this?
For individuals who do not indulge in the art media that we partake in, they may not view artists as quintessential to a society. People who bash humanities are a very good example of
sounds
this.
about right.
Right? And we know that there are many people who, in their short-sightedness, oftentimes say, yeah, artists. People
Asian
who do
parents.
right?
Yep.
And it is, as I said, very short-sighted to dismiss their relevance as roles. And it also doesn't help that these roles are oftentimes it's a subjective workpiece. It's a subjective job, or it's a job that is subjected to subjective criticism. Right? Because one day you can produce a banger and the next day you produce ass. For example, if I'm in a very neurotic mood, I produce ass. But if I'm in a very good mood, which tends to be most of the time, I tend to produce relatively high quality work. Now, in this particular case of the Weeb stuff, we know that they don't necessarily need rent in order to run their business. Let's say if you want to draw for a yard, I don't think you need an office to draw for a yard.
You can be living in your parents' house and be drawing your yaoi stuff.
You could be a NEET. Right?
Very much possible.
But then, how does having a physical location, for example, a booth at Creator Superfest, help with this? Like, do you actually know what the prices are on average, like for these? Because I remember we were talking about holding a booth, right? And just to play chess.
Yeah.
Just to play chess.
Just play chess.
And at the Asian Comics Festival or Asian Comic Exhibition, it's roughly $300 and something for 2 days. By the way, we need to make the payment soon and register the booth.
Yep.
Can you imagine what the cost of this is like for someone who is producing their own work? Is it a big relative operating cost? And what is the potential gains or margins in this for the money that they put in? Right? Because I know a few people who produce art personally, and let's say you produce a print or you spend time to produce art. How do you quantify this is very difficult because you still need to make margins on the amount of time you spend in your booth, but for art. So to this end, I like to think that all these little booths that have been slowly growing over the year, or all these events that promote boothing and doing art or your own thing, crocheting, standees like the muscular Shrek standee, which I don't have at the moment at home.
Oh shit.
And other things.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually quite good at promoting or practicing entrepreneurship in Singapore, right? And the fun thing would then be, how can we potentially expand this to other things? For example, let's say you want to produce something or some other service, right?
Like what, F&B?
I think F&B has been tried and true done already, so let's not even talk about that. Well, let's talk about more niche things. Let's say you want to do software as a service. Granted, I just spent a good amount on AppSumo for a bunch of things to serve like Nakama Spirits. To that end, what is the, how to say,
What platform would they?
like, how would this promote entrepreneurship for these specific fields? And would it be good?
I assume that these like boothing opportunities usually revolve mainly around like more towards the advertising, like getting yourself out there, being made, like getting the audience aware of your presence.
Yeah, so creating brand awareness,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
usually
much.
one main thing.
Which I guess I mean it helps. It may not be the most pertinent first step. You always need to get your market first. But the booths definitely help if it's like a big event. Like if you have a booth for a very specific like tech item at maybe tech expo. One of those
Hard.
expo fairs. I mean, it helps to get the brand out. Definitely would help with entrepreneurship, but I foresee the same issue as rent seeking, which, I mean, do you see the news recently about night markets? There was
Pasar
this,
malams lah.
yeah. So night markets recently have been encountering the same issue, which is ever increasing rents and ever decreasing foot traffic.
What's new?
But for I guess each different industry they have their specific problems. So for example, night markets, you're selling physical products, so you need the foot traffic. It's not so much awareness, cause heck nobody's gonna buy your food like once it's gone. For the most part,
No, but I think the idea has to perpetuate. For example, how did Ramly Burger grow as a night market item? Right? How did it grow as a night market item? It's not a brand. Ramly Burger is just a style of doing a burger with an egg as well as the patty, but done in a very specific way.
Yep.
Right? So there is no same Ramly Burger, but the Ramly Burger is so intricately tied to Pasar Malams. So it always takes Pasar Malams some effort to let people know that hey, we are doing Ramly Burgers. We're doing Ramly Burgers such that when you go into a random Pasar Malam, one of the few things you search for is I'm looking for Ramly Burger lah.
it's quite standard.
Correct. And all the other random things lah
Yeah.
that you would find at Pasar Malam. I remember when I was younger, the thing that I always look for is a very massive lapchong. Yeah.
Oh. It makes sense, the gigantic chicken wings, yeah.
Exactly.
But I don't know, for this part, so you do understand that things like AFA are pretty subsidized.
Are they?
They have some subsidies by the government, and then on top of that, the entrepreneurs who run AFA itself is getting
We need you to come down to
sponsors like freaking Tenga.
Hey,
So, for the
that's
most
a good
part,
one.
I guess it works on like a couple layers lah. So one, if you want to see the booths as like an entrepreneurial opportunity, they need to be cheap enough for the entrepreneurs to actually be able to afford it. Which then
Usama?
you need the event managers to also have an interest in keeping the costs low by not seeking too much profits from the events themselves.
Yeah.
Sourcing for all the sponsors to pay higher prices for the booths, that kind of things lah.
I
So
mean, that still depends on overall cash flow, you know.
it all returns to how greedy are these buggers at the top lah, I guess.
Well, rich get richer.
Like the Pasar Malams increasing costs, making it not feasible to run these stores, and now all you see are freaking gigantic rows of claw machines. Like,
True.
yeah,
True.
entrepreneur is dead lah.
Especially around the
Entrepreneurship
northeast
is dead,
region, you know, like
It's dead.
Bongo, Hougang. Many a times I've seen.
We are run by greedy buggers. Entrepreneurship is dead.
Hey, someone's got to get their next BMW, you know, next Rolex. Before we talk about that, we need our next dram, bro.
Alright, yes.
Okay, so this one is just a
very
chill
fast,
one, kind of like an intermission dram. It's only been like an hour, but
Okay.
yeah, man.
I
I think you can go to your topic soon.
Yeah, we'll have to zoom past the next topic, which I think.
We won't zoom past. We have half an hour for it. Come on.
I mean, fair
So
enough.
this Dailuaine was yoinked from the old bar.
Focus.
Yeah, basically it's nice and chill. I've tried it
Alright.
several times. Mostly just a nice chill intermission dram. It's a cask selected by waiter, one of our friends, and then I think done what? Can you help me check? Is it ex bourbon or is it root port? What kind of cask is it?
Rum quarter.
Rum porter cask. The one that's so fun.
Yeah. Rum cast pretty fun. Let me
Yes.
see. Or is it Half Moon or something? Okay, yeah, let's go. Rum
Right.
quarter cask.
Yes. Yeah, first brew rum quarter cask, 55.1%, quite chill. 2008 vintage, very modern. Right? Yes.
How big is the problem and what can retail environment do to...
Yeah, I think the problem is big, and
It's
the
just
retail environment
greed.
is just going to become more more colored a certain way.
Without government intervention, there's no way to stop the human greed.
Yes,
Right.
as one knows. Yeah, creamy, bit malty.
And I think it's a lot more...
Oh, the esters
standard
are
than-
coming out a bit.
It's a lot less funky than that.
Really? Rum cask though, we don't know how high ester it is.
On the
Bit of
nose,
malt
it's a lot
coming
really,
out. Cheers, man. Very well integrated rum.
It's not it's not the most like it's not very funky. It's
No,
like quite straightforward.
It's not high
honestly.
estery.
It's very straightforward, creamy.
Creamy, a bit of malt, some of the grain character, some of the maltiness hidden in the back end. You have a good amount of sweetness, a bit more of that plum, fleshy tropical fruit style, which is as expected of a rum cask. Right, got sunshine in the back end of my mouth.
Yeah.
So I believe you had a more global problem that you want to talk about.
Yes, it might be tangentially related to
Entrepreneurship.
entrepreneurship because it may cause like quite a bit of the entrepreneurs to be unable to even enter the market in the first place.
Oh.
I mean, one thing is getting the store, the other is actually being able to sell a product, which some may not be able to. So I'm not sure. I think you told me that you aren't aware of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those who are not living under a rock and actually...
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. But this has been pretty big news because essentially what happened was that MasterCard was pressured by a very far right and relatively feminist group that tried to censor games on Steam by pressuring the payment processors into not processing payments for these large platforms that distribute these kind of games. Essentially, some far-right Christian pro female right activist group is trying to ban you from getting your Guna stuff.
I'm pretty sure that adult content is free online.
Well, you have some more prominent games that do cost money, you know, like your visual novels. Pretty sure Fate at one point was a Guna game.
I'm pretty sure Fate Stay Night is a good game.
Yes.
As it first released.
And it's paid. So, in any case, but yeah, Steam had to add in a very, very vague rule to say that, you know, moving forward, we will be reviewing games to see if any of them will breach the terms and conditions set forth by the payment processors and banks. So, yeah, where do we have it? Let's see, yeah, set forth by payment processors and the related card networks and banks. So essentially, they removed a bunch of Guna games.
Yeah.
But the concern is that it doesn't just stop there. So the kind of games that they remove are related to things that you probably find in Alabama. So your Guna material that is a bit more in the lines of what do you call that? Serrano, Oton.
Family funds.
Yes.
Yoshigano Sora.
Yes, that one, Yosugano Sora. Yeah, so things like that have been removed from Steam. The itch.io, where most of your Guna games apparently go to now, removed all of their Guna games off the platform for a moment. Some of them are now back. I'm not sure which ones. I haven't bothered to check. And yeah, so this isn't a new thing. It's been going on since like 2024. So MasterCard actually has prevented like they tried to force places like Surabaya, which is where you got a bunch of your Guna stuff from, to remove adult games indefinitely from their online platform. So yeah, a whole bunch of fun stuff. This is in line with a bunch of other censorship trends. So in the UK currently there's a bill going on where it's trying to force users to go through like a face scanning app to verify that you're 18 plus. So given that we are Asians, we are fucked.
Yes. What if we have many legal lollies? Just saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
What happens if you
Not
just
lolicon.
look Asian? Cause heck, I'm 20 something. I still get asked for my ID. Like, how does that? Never mind.
Damn, that's a compliment. You know, we're aging, you know. I'm very sure that when we go to conventions, some people will call us Unc. Please don't. We are only 27 at the time of this film. He's not even 27 yet, he's 26.
Yes.
He's 27 in coming week.
Yes,
Before
but
National Day.
yeah. So whole bunch of censorship material, like censorship going on. UK as well included a bunch of content that they deemed inappropriate. Some might even call terroristic, because that's what they called it, terroristic.
Whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, I think I can put it up, but I'm a bit lazy too. UK.
Oh, why the UK child safety?
Oh yeah, that is the bill. That is the bill that.
Oh.
Child online safety. That is the bill that is being pushed through. So fun happening. Some people are using the photo mode from Death Stranding to try to beat this, which is working because fucking Death Stranding apparently is that realistic.
Damn.
But yeah, in the US as well, there's a bunch of laws being passed by super conservatives, like trying to force their way through. And given that there's a trend with Australia, US, UK doing this, China is already banning Guna stuff. I mean, freaking Korea as well, you can't sell Guna material.
Damn.
Yeah, so whole bunch of censorship stuff going on with Guna material. That's not the main point. I'm not saying that there should not be any control of Guna material. The problem lies in the fact that a whole bunch of these activist groups can try to say that, you know, these materials offend us, and so we can pressure the payment processors to ban them. What's next, you know? It's like, at what point do we
Draw a
stop
line.
saying that this material offends someone, therefore we're gonna ban the material.
Correct.
For example, at AFA, I'm pretty sure not everyone is a fan of Shrek X Sense or something like that. Just saying.
So you're saying that someone
It
could
could
get
be.
cancelled, and then this could make it into payment gateway things.
Yes, I'm
And-
not against it, but someone very well could be.
I'm just saying, I find it highly implausible, but that would be quite a hoo-ha.
Yeah, but you know, it doesn't need to be that they target it specifically. It could just be like a general broad sweeping new law that comes into play to regulate this stuff. Like, for example, let's say the churches here get a bit uptight, you know, they start to try to meddle with our business, you know. Section, what was it again? The anti-gay law or something.
377?
Yes, 377. Imagine if they wanted to pass something similar, sweeping to cover the internet content.
Whoa.
No more BL for you and me. I mean,
Hey, I'm just saying, I don't strive that material. You might.
sure.
I would.
No more BL for you.
Good.
Yes.
Send it to the crowd.
That could be a very, 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 very real possibility moving forward if this stuff doesn't get pushed back against. I mean, even simple things like, you know, code geass, maybe not code geass, psychopaths,
Psychopaths.
anti-government propaganda could be pushed back against. Maybe more avant-garde things like freaking Shiki. I like to bring up Shiki.
How?
Gore and
Oh.
whatnot. What was it?
Let's be honest, I'm pretty sure that creative freedom is going to like supersede this bullshit.
No, that's the thing. Because they are cracking down on this, saying that you shouldn't be able to offend someone in the name of creative freedom. So you can't
Sorry, I see your
you can't post like incest guna material because that offends like some white jerk in like some
Alabama.
super far right church like praising the Lord or something. So
Right.
yeah, that's
And if they stop spending and money stops moving, and if they are billionaires,
yeah, exactly. If
shit.
I'm not allowed to buy your BL material,
I don't
mean,
produce BL material, so
I keep going back to BL material because it's
Singapore is probably the most concerning because there's
it's
because
for
the
one, it's-
because homosexual activity is clearly oppressed here in
Yep.
the country.
and it clearly offends a pretty big religious group. So it is possible that such a thing may get banned, and if it does get banned, perhaps not officially in the laws, but say payment processors find it goes against their brand image, so I don't get to purchase it, then the entrepreneurial niche, it dies.
What if there is enough market share for this entire thing to not die? For example, liquor. Singapore is multiracial, right?
Yep.
We have a Muslim population here,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a very thriving liquor market, especially back in the past. But now it's a bit in the upsy daisies. And needless to say, this establishment and many others have been thriving quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that people that one particular region can just like kill off.
So that's the thing. Firstly, while the UK Online Safety Act is a government law, the MasterCard one is
Yeah.
not a government law.
Yes.
It's private businesses playing around with their policies and preventing the sale or purchase of goods that don't align with their values.
Yes.
So even if say like 90% of Singapore disagrees, no way you're gonna stop MasterCard being like a big payment processor in Singapore. Like you're still gonna get screwed.
Yes.
There's no way you're preventing that. So doesn't really matter, you're gonna get screwed either
But
ways.
what if I am offended by their offense?
So yeah, that's where it draws the line. So that's where we as a community need to start pushing back. Maybe not in Singapore because there's not really any laws being passed right now. But
Fair.
if it comes to it, we have to do something about Mastercard and Visa being stupid at this. So fun fact, Mastercard released a statement saying that they did not prevent ban the transaction of these materials on Steam.
Cooler content on Steam. Okay.
Yes, so they are saying that they weren't the ones who stopped it, and Visa is saying that as well. But come on lah.
I mean, gotta appease someone.
Yeah, so throw Steam under the bus, and Steam, even Steam being such a big platform, they still have to adhere to this. So like, heck, if some religious majority in Singapore decides that your alcohol is not within their terms and conditions, like,
But there's too much money flowing within this capitalistic state for
there's
that
a whole
to
bunch of
happen.
money flowing in Steam. They aren't afraid to shut down the entire Steam.
Yeah, but that would be
The entire Steam.
unquestionable.
Sorry?
That would be, but that is practical because Steam is digital, right?
You can shut down payment transactions for.
Yeah, but
this.
what if I have, like, just say, a couple billion bottles in the country of alcoholic
yeah.
beverages?
Transact in cash then?
Let's welcome a new era of piracy and money laundering.
Yeah, boy! We back! Which brings me to. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that about sums up the current situation.
That's why cash is king.
I'm not sure where this will go, but hopefully we can hope that nothing happens and everything resolves itself. Yeah, I mean, kind of sucks. It feels like a really bad time to be alive.
Well, I would say that I would quote you on this. Life sucks, take drugs. Let's take out legal drugs. So just go pump myself a bit more, and then we can get on to the last bottle, yeah?
All right. So yeah, do you have any thoughts on like the situation? Like, you've been living under the rock
Thanks.
for
That's
this has
kinda-
been going on.
First, that statement, put out of context, is kind of gay. Because The Rock is the nickname of an actual human being. And living under him is pretty sus, unless you're telling me that I live in a apartment under him, which can't exactly be
I
true.
mean, wouldn't you enjoy having him as your daddy or something?
No.
Like, dude's a millionaire.
I would like to say that I prefer a mom. Thanks.
Okay, sure, cool, yes, but besides the point, since you've been unaware of this for the entire period,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, practically speaking, I'm sure you know that I am a massive supporter of Guna content.
mm-hmm.
I personally think that, it is quintessential to our culture.
Yes.
And needless to say, the fact that people are trying to put some very discretionary controls over this is very much deleterious to the larger population and make enough of a problem, and I'm sure that there will be more people pushing back against it. Now, if we're talking about this being potentially a big trend, long term, I don't think so. I think this will just be, just a flash fire, and that'll be it.
No, my concern is that given, because there is this isn't just an isolated incident, right? There is a
Right.
global trend. Maybe trend is a strong word, but there have been many movements along the
This will
same
wash
line.
it, right?
So they all they really need is this one push to get their foot in the door, and it'll be easier to
Yeah,
kick the
but
door open in the future.
this extremism has to stop at some point because people who move money can't let themselves be pushed around so much. Otherwise, we'll just take ourselves back to another
Except
state
the
of
people are the people moving money are the ones putting these rules in place. So yeah,
No, I think this is something that is too big to fail. I don't think this would be this is just PR, in my opinion. I think this is just PR. And I think it's really just a show.
mm-hmm.
But if let's say things go big enough, I don't think there's enough people who can. I don't think that you have enough people who can boycott this out of existence or boycott this so hard that it must come true, because you are affecting entire global economies. Think of how many businesses and countries operate off just Visa, bro. You have billions trading trillions.
And that's the issue, isn't it? Because Visa is too big to fail, that's why they can throw their weight around like this. I mean, heck, the entire of Japan is getting screwed over by Visa, and they clearly aren't giving a shit. So the fact that they're too big to fail and they're pushing their weight around like this means that they essentially have a free pass to screw you over and laugh at you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The fact that they are trying to cover their tracks with their PR shit by saying that it's not us, kind of comfort, like small comfort, but the fact that they could do it in the first place isn't a good sign of things to come, I guess.
Fair. I mean, beyond the fact that there are wars happening and that we are concerned about Guna materials being restricted, I think, or at least Guna materials being unable to publish, and the entrepreneurship concerns regarding that is probably a fortunate thing to be thinking about, or it's at least in context. But yeah, what say we go to the last one?
Alright, let's go.
Cheers, bro. Alright, so last bottle. So this here is yours to keep. This is a bottle of Islay whiskey. I don't exactly have the distillery, but it's, in my opinion, either gonna be Ardbeg or Corridor. Right, we may be able to tell by the peat. It's done in a PX cask, so generally it's supposed to be a lot sweeter and fruitier. And don't remember if I tried the sample on this, but it should be pretty okay. 58.5%. The other rare fine bottling that we had, quite exemplary. I don't think you've had it yet, but it was a Bowmore, a secret Bowmore. Very much direction towards the old Bowmore styles. I think this will be quite promising. You want the honor of pouring?
Sure, let's go.
I'm generous pour, man.
Of course. Let's go.
My glass is cold.
Whoops.
Oops. Ooh, that's thick.
Not so much industrial. More farmy.
Feels a bit unbaggy. Farmy? Really? It's a grassy peat style.
Grassy, yeah.
Yeah, but it strikes me as a bit more towards the Ardbeg direction. But I would say that there's some light chocolatey notes. I think it's a bit of the youngness shining through. It is undisclosed, but I think this should be quite fine as a bottle.
I mean,
Right.
definitely not offensive in any way.
Yeah. Hey, cheers, bro.
Just.
Wow. Solid. It's a very nice sweet peat, but the finish is a bit, not say undesirable, but actually
Not bad.
I think it's Ardbeggy. It's very barbecuey.
Yep. It's a bit meaty, but
Yeah,
at the start it was more.
sweet. The
Sweet
sherry
is,
really came through a lot more. The grapiness, the sweetness, overall the peat mellowing together or mashing together with it. But I think the finish is definitely where the peat, like the barbecueness, some of the mild saltiness, but it's more like a charred saltiness is there.
Yeah, definitely more charred. Not the very,
Very
like,
carbon.
coastal salty.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Not really getting the grapey, but
Like it's the flavor of sugary grapes. The grape is a bit hidden, but it's the sweetness that is like tinged with a bit of the vininess, the skin, the flesh. That is what I'm getting.
alright. Back to
Yeah, I mean, we don't exactly have a lot of time left unless we want to drag this on to be a 2-hour episode. But I would say that since this is the third episode of our technically revival in 2025, it's a good time to do some reflections on jobs, work, entrepreneurism over the past couple of the past year and a half lah. So maybe you want to give something like your own thoughts. I think you know my journey at
Yeah.
least a little bit.
somewhat. I guess I don't know, it feels like
Let's do it phase by phase.
sure.
December 2023 when we incorporated Nakama Spirits and you made your first investment.
Yeah.
That was a fuck up.
I mean, fuck ups happen, as do most like startups. Every step of the way is a risk. So for the most part, I think overall it's like okay, I guess my standpoint is a bit different because I'm not fully invested into this into the entrepreneurial side. I have a day job, and that day job
Night job,
funds-
thanks.
Fair enough. But it's like, for the most part, my perspective is that the day job funds these entrepreneurial activities, so it's more like a side hustle, like a hobby. So then, because because we don't have a store, it's relatively manageable. Like, I'm okay to like dump a couple hundred here and there because I have a stable income. If I were to do this as my full-time job, I think I'd be screwed. Like, massively. I would have no idea how the hell I would find money to do shit.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started, I told you my grand plan to do whiskey tastings. Then where we did the first few episodes of the 2024 podcast was supposed to be the venue that I wanted to use. Needless to say, that never came to fruition. And I realized like the many gaping holes in my plans, which is why I started working in the bar. And through working with the bar, I filled in many of these plans to the point where we eventually have access to a venue like this, where we can actually host a private tasting here without any issues. The venue fits, the logistics is all in place. And if we want to expand it to like a full-size event for like 50 packs or so, it's possible.
I guess the other thing about the entrepreneurial, like the idea of entrepreneurship is that without the experience, it's like there's two ways about it. One, you go in, you jump in, and then you die, and then you learn from the experience.
You fuffle, basically. You fuck around and find out.
And you sink like shit tons of money and time into it, right? Like without any returns, get yourself into like deep debt, maybe like default once or twice. I don't know. But yeah, that's one way to do it. But probably more realistic would be to get some experience first, which I guess, I don't know, I'm not sure if it defeats the entrepreneurial spirit to
it doesn't.
Dive into the industry, get a job there, and then work, like see the niches within the industry first. And
I truly like to think that rushing into things or just putting the foot in gave many lessons of its own. But in retrospect, having more experience might have helped. However, there's a very unique set of things that you learn from bumbling around. Very much so. Like, for example, when I first started in liquor, right? This was me haven't even stepped foot into the world of like vintage whiskies and understanding like the bar scene and liquor as an industry.
Yeah, dude, we were fucking around with like Jim Beam and Jack Daniels.
No, I think I had gotten past that point already. But the idea here was like, wow, there's so much shit to learn and the network that is needed in here. Who are the people in Singapore who do whiskey? You know, like you only learn that from working inside, right? Otherwise, you learn from spending money on the inside. But what it did teach me with regards to liquor as a potential like thing was how to build the structure regarding liquor events. How do you run a tasting? Like, how do you make it better? What kind of logistics do you need? How would you try to get it out to people? It's how I even come to the many like business processes that I'm running here today. You know? With fitness, it was even harder. When I first started like doing like trying to expand my online coaching, I thought, okay, I wanted to work with the Weeb population. Needless to say, I don't think the Weeb population has the kind of money for that because they're spending on either Guna content, cosplays, or actual things at cons. Then I pivoted and I was like, okay, I'm going to go with young working adults, you know, because I technically am a young working adult. They are the most relatable group. Needless to say, young working adults don't exactly have the kind of structure, systems, and money to go about with this, right? Especially if they're the party crowd, which is how I've come to finding that, yeah, I should probably look at the population of people who actually have money. You know? And I start to orientate and build my systems around there. That's how we can reflect a bit about phase 2 actually, because you technically weren't an investor in this part of things. But Bar One Last Dram was the closest thing to my biggest entrepreneurial experience that I have. Because it is the combination of all the skills and experiences and networks that I built up over the past year, 2024. Got into whiskey, talked to more people. I learned how to run a bar. I learned how to make my own bar. and that's how I created the entire thing. I got people together, I got bottles in, I got like a food vendor in, and then I ran it the way I wanted to run it. And I did actually break even on it. Some people made money, some people lost money, right? But then the people who lost money either priced their things too cheaply, or they just didn't have, they didn't contribute even though they were partners, in the sense that they didn't host events, or they didn't go out their way to try to get more people in. Whereas those who made good money at least tried to bring people in, host events, etc. Those were the ones who actually got, like, you know, imagine you put your bottles there, you paid like a certain amount in rent, but from the bottles, your margins that you sold, you made back the cost of the bottles, and it's at a dram value, and then you make like enough money to cover your rent and to give yourself a bit more money to buy more bottles. You know? And they're good. Essentially bum around in the bar if they wanted to.
I mean, that's always a perk, man. Being able to say that, oh, I can go behind the table. Man.
Yeah, but it's like, imagine getting a venue and now you need to make a structure and system for the whole place. Right? It was only because I worked in the bar, I worked in liquor, that I could source my vendors, I could get my collections, I could get everything like set up well and properly running.
And Bawan's Ram taught me a lot.
Told me that I could have made so much more money. If let's say I priced everything just $1 more, I could have easily made a couple thousand more. Right? And then marketing is so important, and having lead time is so important. So that's why whenever we try to do projects like this, right, I will always go and like tell you to give ourselves at least 1 month of lead time, and to try not to do like our cosplays and things like with very short notice. You know, learning from our first experience setting up the mimic. Wow, that was trippy.
I mean, I guess the learning point is that I guess entrepreneurship is all about risk management, but high risk, high reward is a dumb saying, in that trying to play high risk, like going in blind, high risk, it may return high rewards, but you're dumb doing that. It's about managing the risk. Yeah. If you want to make returns, I mean, you can make good returns by minimizing the risk and maybe not taking that higher reward. Keeping costs down, not throwing dumb money at stupid things.
But I think fundamentally you need to know how to build something that can make you save money first.
Which you need to go into industry first.
Probably. Not necessarily. Let's say
have some idea. Of
no, it's like, okay, let's say I this is a pure hypothetical, but let's say I walked into an Italian man's home and I stabbed him by accident. I tripped over and I stabbed him in my finger and he passed away. And his home had a shit ton of bottles, of which they're all from the 1970s and 60s, all in good condition. It's still in the neck field. And I take everything and I left and I started a business. Now, I have the highest value objects that I could start the business with. The problem is, if I ever get caught, I'm screwed. But it's high reward if I clear everything and no one finds me. Then I piss out Italia. You know, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, dumb hypotheticals like that.
Yes. You just get something so valuable. Let's say you are so valuable that people will pay big money just for you to be around. You don't even need industry experience. You just need to have a big brain. Then the high risk, high reward justification becomes a bit more tenable.
I still think that at some point you would still need some industry experience to know that you're not getting scammed. So at the end of the day, it's still being able to manage the risk so that your risk isn't that high. You know what shit you're getting into, and actually how to plan out the business so that you don't get screwed over. So,
hey, contracts are very important, man.
Here's my 2 cents.
Contracts are honestly very important.
Yeah. Alright.
Well, given that battery there is running low, I would think now is a very good time to wrap
Yes.
our podcast, talk show. Make sure you save our recording, but yes. So,
This is peak planning right here.
Yep.
Battery low.
Hey, so with that said, now I believe is a good time to end up. So of the 3 gems that we had, what's the most favorite of the lot?
I mean that shit is funky. This is pretty reasonable. As a peat head. It's peat head.
Because you're a pea head.
Yes.
You're not a pea head. You just have shit taste.
But yeah, this to me most fits my palate. That's funky, that's fun. I wouldn't drink it every night.
Yeah, I think this Islay is a pretty good one. I'm going to find out where it's from. But it's also probably the favorite of the night. I mean, I tried the previous 2 periods like before, so I know roughly what it's like. What are you searching? Oh, yeah. This is a good one to end off. It's just something that I also saw on Reddit, but flag. One Piece.
Yes, good way to end off the night.
Indonesian citizens are using One Piece flags to protest.
Yes, back to anime where anime is permeating into reality.
Yes.
Yes.
This is just the consequence of culture, but basically, people are using the One Piece. I think the Mugiwara Jolly Roger.
Yep, the Jolly
And over the Indonesian flag,
Roger.
and clearly the government is taking offense at it.
Yeah, just to put it out there, there's technically no law in Singapore outlawing the use of the Jolly Roger One Piece flag, displaying it, because it's not related to any political or country in existence.
Hey, wouldn't it be
So-
really funny if in this coming National Day, in one side of like a flag, more Jolly Rogers are displayed than the Singaporean flag itself?
You can't display them side by side with a Singaporean flag.
Damn.
That is in the law. Okay.
Okay.
But yes, if you don't display your Jolly Roger beside a Singaporean flag or anywhere near a Singaporean flag, you should be in the clear.
Very good. Right, with that said, I think that's a fun little tidbit to end the night off. Alright, as always, we like to say, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Ciao.